And first impression of the interior. Now just take a look at those fancy seats, guys. Hello everyone, this is a new chapter for the Renault Nissan Alliance, guys. It came down to reliability and quality. The Renault Megane was not always the best tool in the shed, but when it came to affordability and style, the Renault Megane did turn out to be one of the most desirable of choices, especially in affordability, guys. Now, over here, Renault Megane E, this is Renault's response to growing demands for electric cars and crossover SUVs. Now, this Renault Megane E costs 53,000 euros. Is this good value for money or not? Well, it is an electric car, guys, but a Renault for 53,000 euros, many years ago, this was kind of unheard of, but now it's becoming a really common hearing, guys. We keep hearing mass market brands that are selling cars for around 50,000 euros electric, but let's see if they have what it takes to be good value for money. For many years in the EU market, the Renault Megane has been one of Renault's best-selling vehicles in the C segment, guys. It's really good how far the Renault Nissan Alliance have gone with the Renault Megane. Now they've taken it to a new level, guys. Now, if it wasn't for reliability, at least the style is what really paid off at the end of the day, guys. Now, we look at this Renault Megane E. The style is very interesting. We see some references to Renault models of today. I see a touch of the Renault Talisman at the front, and then I also see a touch of the Renault Megane. But if you study the side very carefully, it looks almost like a Renault Clio to some extent. In fact, the whole body looks more like a Renault Clio, but bigger in every dimensions. Even the wheel is bigger. It's even bigger than what I've seen on the Renault Megane itself, guys. Look at the Renault Megane E from this angle. It gives me the impression more of a Renault Clio than a Renault Megane. You see some references to the Renault Laguna. Renault Laguna was a D-segment Renault car which used to exist in the 2000s and in the early 2010s. Renault Megane E has a two-tone paint, everyone. So it's black over here, and the roof, all the three pillars are in silver, including the wing mirrors themselves, guys. Down there, you get a touch of gold, well, beige gold, guys. Now, this is supposed to be Renault's theme of electric cars. It's like how certain electric car brands like to use blue or sky blue. 5-spoke Renault alloy wheels, guys. Now, this is a really strong Renault identity. I know that they always have this sort of alloy. Now, not surprisingly, Renault has adopted the same concept as other electric car manufacturers. Pop-out handles at the front, guys. This is good. But for some reason, Renault has stuck to the same system for the rear door. Just like on the Renault Clio, and I'm not sure if this applies to the Renault Megane, but I know that Nissan also has the same thing with the Nissan Juke and the Nissan Micra, where the handle at the rear is here instead. So it's like right onto the door, guys. It's really nice. You don't see the handle itself. It's part of the trim. Oh yes, everyone, it is time to check out the interior as well. Now, if we look at the interior of the Renault Megane E, it's just like the Renault Austral as well. They've developed an obsession with a driver-centric interior, and this has become a common trend in today's generation, where car manufacturers in the mass market want to have a driver-centric interior. This concept was started by BMW, and Volkswagen also had this concept in the 1980s and in the 1990s. Adjustable steering wheel. Oh, it's quite welcoming. The steering wheel can go in and out, guys. It's quite nice, up and down. You can adjust it to your needs. It's rather... it has a similar vibe and a layout to what I know of the Nissan Leaf. It has this Renault Nissan vibe about it, which is quite nice. So everything's at my reach. I can sit at my back straight and I can still reach the infotainment system. It's quite nice, quite cozy. And this, I like how this center also cocoons you. It's really good. Now, when it comes to identity, it has this Megane vibe to it. Like, I know Renault Meganes, despite being in the C segment, they still have everything at your reach, and they were always known to be very stylish. Alrighty, everyone, first impression of the interior. So, seating adjustments with lumbar support. I just love the presentation of the door. Now, the door is quite interesting, but I feel like Renault has gone a bit a bit too premium with the door. It looks good, but I think it's too good. It's quite nice. Nice window buttons right here. I love the number of detail Renault has invested in. These windows are fully automated, guys. All 4 windows. And I like this wooden trim, the way it's styled. Now let's just take a moment and admire the seats, guys. You get white leather seats. Looks like copper brown piping, leather piping, seat piping, and some copper brown stitching also on the side. Wireless telephone recharge, cup holders down there, everyone. And over here is your central console storage. Let's see if I can open it. Ah, all right. Unique system. Central console storage is quite narrow, but otherwise there's a little storage space right there. All right, the glove box, guys. The glove box is average for its price and segment, although I'm under the impression it's smaller. The door bin is also quite nice. I like the material it's lined with, very cozy, everyone. Whether it can fit a big water bottle or not, you all be the judge. But the space in there is really, it's good. It's quite decent. And this is your door handle, very pleasant, and I like the touch of white leather you get on the door. Now it is time to explore the rear seat of the Renault Megane E, guys. Ease of entrance, I literally fell in. Quite nice. The door can open to this much, so this is already good enough. Handle right here, this is very handy. Coat hook right here, beacon of hope lighting, so it's good, guys. Now, my leg room is a bit limited, guys, because of the front seat. Now, it can also depend on the seating adjustments of the driver, but at the same time, it would be nicer if I had a lot more leg room, given the price of 53,000 euros. Knee room is good, but then it can depend on the seating adjustment of the driver's seat. But even if your knee makes contact with the driver's seat or the front passenger, the seat is leather wrapped, so it's rather cozy. At least it's not plastic, guys. Back seat pocket, guys, and the rear door bin right there. And yes, it's very cozy. Now, sitting on the seats, my headrest is a bit firm, but the seating feels good. It feels like I'm sitting on a couch. Now, just take a look at those fancy seats, guys. This is the first time I've ever seen this. It's so cool. It's like a sofa. I remember seeing those seats in cars of the 1960s, guys. It's quite interesting. Now, when it comes to the rear, you don't get a backseat armrest or anything, given the price of 53,000 euros. And there's no climate control, just an air vent right there and USB points down there. We're gonna check out the boot space of the Renault Megane E. So to open the boot door, there's a little button right here. Interesting concept. Now I'm gonna warn you guys about something. You will be slapped by this Renault Megane, guys. And here's the reason why. Open it gently, like this. Did you see that? This door opens at a very fast pace around some point. So you just have to be careful with it, otherwise it's fine. The rear space is really good. It's just that I feel like there's too much elevation right here. In there, it's very deep, but over here, there's just too much of a ridge. Oh well, is it something to question or not? You all be the judge. But otherwise, I feel like the rear space for price of 53,000 euros, given electric, it can be a bit below average, guys, because I've seen competitors that offer a bit more space. Now look at this, guys. With the seats down, you get some extra space, but it's not as if you can move houses, guys, because there's quite a big ridge right here. Too much elevation right here, and down there it's quite deep. It's quite nice. It's very easy to move this back up, but now be careful. You do not want the seatbelt stuck in there. So you have to leave the seatbelt here and then push this back up. Job done. Now here are some advantages you get with the Renault Megane E. You get a 360-degree parking camera, parking sensors at the front and at the rear, and guess what? This Renault Megane is actually very generously equipped. This has to be the first time I've seen a car with all 4 windows automated. This is very rare, guys, because usually most manufacturers tend to automate only the front windows, not the rear windows. Well done, Renault. Renault cars are said to be very comfortable to drive, which is true, but there is some extras this time. You get ambient lighting to give it a nice premium experience, and also a good number of equipment in the interior. rather premium and driver-centric, guys. Blind spot monitoring, everyone. Another advantage you get with this Renault Megane E is the maneuverability and the unquestionable city friendliness. Many car manufacturers have resorted to using too much technology to make their cars city friendly, like having the all-wheels turn and everything. But this Renault Megane is naturally city friendly, just like every other French cars, because French cars, they were born from the city. They grew from the city. However, guys, it is not all pink roses. There were problems we are going to address right now. Fully respect and understand that Renault loves being revolutionary. They always like to do it differently. But sometimes I'm under the impression it creates more problems than solutions. Here's an example. Let's say I'm carrying a lot of shopping, all right? I'm carrying a lot of things. I have to open the rear door, the rear side door, but it's just not easy because on a conventional car, you just have to pull the handle on the side. But here, I have to pull this, which is not going to be very easy for children to reach. It is respectable that Renault has decided they need to change. They need to be more driver-centric and everything. But I feel like they've kind of lost their identity because there was a time Renault cars and French cars in general, they were very relatable. They were something you could identify with. Quality has improved big time. The quality of this interior is unquestionable. But what is a bit questionable is just how the interior looks like a direct reference to what the German competitors have been doing, if you know what I'm saying, guys. One last problem I would like to address, guys, is that Renault calls this the Megane E, and also that too at a price of 53,000 euros. Why do I get the impression it looks more like a Renault Clio, but oversized? And that too, not much space inside, guys. 53,000 euros and you do not get automated rear doors. Most competitors would be generous enough to offer that, guys. And that too, the door doesn't even open up by itself. Another problem I would like to remark, guys, is that most competitors tend to put reverse lights above right here at this level, but Renault decided it's okay to put the reverse lights all the way down there. Now, from my personal experience, this can be problematic because road users behind this Renault Megane won't be able to tell if it's intending to reverse or not. Here's my conclusion of the Renault Megane E, everyone. The Renault Megane E is a very promising development by the Renault Nissan Alliance. The equipment list is very promising, guys. Everything about it is great, but the interior had something interesting going on. It didn't remind me of Renault that much, which surprises me because back in the 2000s, Renault was astonishing. They were building cars that were groundbreaking, revolutionary. It is true that their reliability at that time was not always the best. Now, the thing is, their reliability has improved in recent years, especially with the help from Nissan. So why is it difficult for Renault to maintain that passion and enthusiasm for innovation, guys? Like what they used to do with the Renault Espace back then. Why didn't they do it today as well? Now, here comes the big question. For a price of 53,000 euros, is this Renault Megane E good value for money or not? Guys, I think this Renault Megane is just good value for money. Here are the reasons why. City friendliness should not have come at a high price, guys. It's something I'd recommend to all of you. You know what, guys? I'd recommend this Renault Megane E to all of you, but I wouldn't recommend you the top of the range. I would recommend you something in the middle segment, something in the middle trim, all right? To try not to take the highest trim, because the highest trim, you'd think to yourself, there's other better competitors out there, and competitors that offer better practicality solutions, and autonomy can also be an interesting subject to discuss about. And that too, city friendliness is universal these days, but this Renault Megane has it better. So you want my opinion of this Renault Megane E? Oh, I love it. I love this Renault Megane E, everyone. This Renault Megane E is one of the most promising crossover electric cars of today's generation, guys. And it's very interesting because this is a new chapter for the Renault-Nissan Alliance. They've come up with more interesting electric cars. Nissan and Renault, both of them have been doing great efforts together, and I'm sure we will see massive improvements. But all I ask from Renault is please do something about the style. Please stop looking at other competitors from inspiration and look at what you had and bring it today. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run, everyone. And let me know in the comment what you all think of this Renault Megane E. Did Renault do a good job, or do you think there's still improvement that's needed? Let me know what you all think.